Kim TN. Thank you for visiting the NoThan TV channel. Here, we share with you noteworthy news, analyze domestic and international events from various perspectives, and aim to provide clear, objective, and thought-provoking information. If you enjoy our content, please subscribe, like, and share to support Kim TN on our journey ahead. And now, please join us for the program. And now, let's dive into the highlights and noteworthy developments in today's news broadcast. Freedom, the dream of every human being. For a long time, Kim TN hasn't shared or commented on domestic and international news. YouTube has tried 3 times to shut down the NoThan channel, but that hasn't made Kim TN give up. As long as the country remains communist and Vietnamese people continue to leave the country in search of freedom, living in a country ruled by a communist regime means we lose all rights, especially freedom and democracy. That's why we cherish it so much, isn't it? Today, I want to share a question that has haunted me for many years, from my time in Vietnam, through my years as a refugee from communism in Thailand, to when Australia extended its hand to protect me. That is the question of freedom. I often wonder if freedom is a good thing, if a liberal education is valuable, if a society governed by the rule of law is a good environment for human development, then why can't these values be extended to all Vietnamese people in particular and the world in general? I've noticed that many powerful people in undemocratic countries often wish for their children and grandchildren to study and live in free countries. They want their children and grandchildren to receive a good education, be protected by fair laws, and have opportunities to develop their talents. This shows that they understand the value of these good things very well. So my question is simple. If these things are good for the children and grandchildren of those in power, why shouldn't ordinary people deserve the same? I'm not saying this with hatred. I don't want revenge on anyone. I only hope that all people, rich or poor, leaders or ordinary citizens, are treated equally before the law, have the right to express their thoughts, and have the opportunity to build a future for their children and grandchildren. As someone who has experienced the difficult years of refugee life, I understand that the value of freedom doesn't lie in grand slogans. Freedom is sometimes simply being able to say what you think without fear. It's about living according to your conscience. It's about having the right to hope for a better future for your family and your country. I believe that the desire for freedom doesn't belong to any one nation, political party, or religion. It's a common aspiration of all humankind. And I believe that dialogue, truth, compassion, and mutual respect will help society progress more than fear or hatred. But for authoritarian and communist countries, they all know and understand what equality, freedom, and human rights are. However, because they lack altruism, they live according to individualism, wanting others to serve them and not wanting to serve others. When they came to power, it wasn't because of talent or virtue, but because they seized power through lies, deception, opportunism, and the strength of their clique. They weren't chosen or elected by the people. Therefore, when they held power, they greatly feared these 3 privileges would shake the regime they had worked so hard to build, maintain, and protect. They used the police force to rule the people with bloodshed, deception, and control over all their activities. In truth, dictatorial and communist regimes fear popular uprisings and overthrow, so they use policies of terror and lies to rule. They brutally kill one innocent citizen to intimidate 100 others. This brutality instills fear of being killed. And thus, violent rule has succeeded in communist and dictatorial regimes, because the people are inherently gentle and simply need food and clothing. However, those in power are atheistic. Communists and dictatorial countries are driven by insatiable greed. They desire a life of luxury, wealth, and abundance, with vast stores of gold, silver, and precious stones. This boundless greed makes them cold-blooded, ruthless, and cruel. They don't want to give up what they possess. Therefore, we must recognize their weaknesses and fatal flaws. And we must unite to create strength to confront those who cling to power for survival. Currently, President Trump has stated that he will build an equal and fair world order based on law, and the world must abide by it. Communist and dictatorial nations must leave when the entire population wants an end to it. The people are the foundation of the nation. They can lift a ship up and also sink it. If you have any information to share, suggestions, collaboration proposals, or topics you would like us to cover, please feel free to contact us via email. NoThan-TV-Asian@gmail.com. We will do our best to respond to your message as soon as possible. Thank you sincerely for your interest, support, and encouragement. We truly appreciate your trust and look forward to hearing from you.